Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating up kinda loud. That's in front of the crowds. Paragraphs holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice, there is no choice. Use the voice in your house, making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. Your house is a perfect distraction. Pop us in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action.
This is Alakan, the concept house of the In Your House podcast, and I am here for an exclusive interview with one of the best of the best of the best of the best technical wrestlers out right now, the Hoodlum, and that's Jordan Dye. Thanks for coming to the show, bro.
I appreciate you having me on. It's been a long time coming, man. We've been trying to talk for a minute now.
Yeah, man.
Okay, it's good to be here. I appreciate you. You know, it's been wild lately, but hey. We here. We got this, man.
We are here, man. And it's been a while. It's been a while for me trying to get you on, but it's because you stay booked and busy. You are out there pretty much every weekend doing your thing, man, and just hustling. And like, that's one thing that I like about you. The first thing that I want to say is that, like, you're a grinder, man. Like, you're out there and really working hard. I've been watching you for years, whether it be commentating or just kind of watching you or doing some backstage stuff. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it to me personally, like watching your in-ring work, like I understand that like it's hyperbole, but like the technician that you are is really impressive. What can you really like give that to as far as your extreme technical ability?
Man, I did a little bit of martial art. I trained in judo for a little bit, and got out of it. I started doing MMA around 2000, and I believe it was towards the end of 2006. I believe too many head injuries, so you gotta give me a minute to remember some shit. But excuse my French. But anyways, yeah, I did a little bit of MMA for a while, and some people that were in my life, they were just like, it's too dangerous. And I'm like, what about wrestling? Yeah. They're like, I don't know about it. And I'm like, oh, I do. This has been what I wanted to do ever since I was younger. And when I was younger with the wrestling thing, it was more like, oh, I'm into the entertainment aspect because I came up in the 90s with the Ultimate Warrior and the Hulk Hogan's and stuff like that. Yeah. But I was never really into those guys. The technicians is who I was into. The Bret Harts, the Dynamite Kids, the Pegasus Kids over Chris Benoit, obviously, for sure, over in Japan. You know, Eddie Guerrero, William Regal, all those technicians. So those were the guys that I'm like, man, I really want to do that, which I'm kind of backtracking here. That's what got me into martial arts. Is like, okay, I can't do the wrestling thing. Yeah. I'm more of an efficient fighter, and I had fun with it. But really, wrestling is where it's at. It's where it is at here. Excuse me, as far as passion wise. So I chose that route, and you know, ever since, I mean, I can't say I've been tearing it up ever since. I had some rocky roads, like we all do. Yeah. But here lately, the best of the best of the best of the best is not just a quote. Baby, it is the truth.
And that's what I see when I see you in the ring, man. So I really like what you said about your background in MMA and how you've really incorporated that into your professional wrestling style. So, like, with that being said, at what point, like, what was your first exposure to wrestling like? Of course, you did the MMA and whatnot, but then what was your exposure to wrestling where it's like, okay, a lot of people watch it and they kind of change the channel if they're not into it. What hooked you in to where you was like, oh my God, this is my thing, you know?
Okay. So my grandpops back in, I think it was 91. Yeah, it was 91. SummerSlam 91. He had this old school coinky ding black and white television with the antenna, and he could pick up a lot of pay-per-view channels, right? So he picked up SummerSlam 91, and it was cool. Guys beating each other up. I got to watch Bret Hart and Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. Ooh. And that just, it stuck with me, man. It stuck with me. And since then, I've been a fan. I was more of a fan of WWF at the time, obviously, because I didn't that's more aimed towards children and you know, more of the entertainment audience. And I was
Yeah.
into that. Well, my granddad, what I didn't know at the time, was a huge Mid-South mark.
Really?
Huge Mid-South mark. He had, I mean, tapes. He pulled out one day. He's like, "Well, son, you know, I know you like wrestling, so here you go." And man, my eyes were just glued to the television. The Mid South, NWA, AWA. He just had tapes and tapes. I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah.
So I sat and I studied and I studied. And honestly, that was what I was going to pursue when I turned 18. I was going to go start a school. Unfortunately, around that time there wasn't a lot of schools around where I was, so
Yeah.
that's also why martial arts played a big factor in my
Sure.
in you know, in my involvement, I guess, or my movement, or how do you want to word it?
Yeah, I
can't word things proper. I do apologize, but
Oh, I get
yeah,
you.
yeah. So that's really what turned it on. It was Bret Hart, it was Kurt Hennig, and then my granddad with the tapes. And ever since then, man, I've been watching. I've been glued to the television.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I want to ask you this, man, because we really talked and kind of broke down like your ability in the ring from bell to bell,
Mhm.
which is, I mean, once again, your craft, you're great at your craft.
Thank you.
But what I really want to talk about is the entertainment point that you bring as a character. And I mean, when you're a lot of the like technical wrestlers, like they fall wayside when it comes to like promos or entertainment or something. No. When it comes to Jordan Dye, when I'm on my social media and I see that there's a Jordan Dye promo that's dropped from one of the many promotions that you work for in the area, I'm like, oh, well, let me see what this guy, because like you're a well-known asshole, and like everything, like you make it entertaining. So like, what can you really like attest that to, as far as, of course, your in-ring ability
Right.
being great, but also being just like a really great entertainer?
I mean, a lot of guys, if we're being real, if we're gonna shoot the
You could say
stuff
it. You
here,
could
to
say
shoot
it.
the
You
shit
could say it. Yeah.
here, a lot of guys like to portray being that asshole or that bad guy, or they just want to portray this, to have this over the top gimmick, because obviously entertainment sells,
Yeah.
right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so with me, it's just like, what can I find? What can I find that suits me? I tried all kinds of stuff. I mean, I even went from a name change. A lot of the guys that knew me from back then, I started in Ohio. That's where I was trained, right?
Yeah.
So I was trained under Robert Stedham and I was trained under Steve Collins. Both those dudes took time with me. It took me about a year. I went on the road with them. I traveled. I learned a lot, but I didn't really understand how to put a gimmick together. Okay.
Yeah.
So I juggled through so many, and pandemic hit. I was at like 5 different gimmicks. I'm like, man, what the hell do I do? What do I do here? So I changed the name. It used to be Wade Castle.
I remember
Yeah,
that. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I changed the name up a little bit, and started, like, during the pandemic. I started training. Hard.
Yeah.
I started hitting the ring. I started filling myself out a little bit more. I was like, man, this technical stuff is really working out for me. It wasn't till can I give shout outs on your
Give
thing?
shout outs. Go right ahead, bro.
It wasn't until Joseph Schwartz
Yes.
and Randy West of
Schwartzy.
Flophouse Wrestling kind of just seen my potential and just basically told me, like, just be yourself, man.
Yeah.
Be yourself. And they gave me that shot on the first Flophouse Private Stash episode they did, which is on IWTV right now. Can I give them a shout? Is that cool?
Go right
Okay,
ahead.
cool. So it's on IWTV. This is back in 2020, and I had a great match with Mikey Montgomery. He's an Ohio cat, very talented, and man, like, that match just, I mean, we had a standing ovation.
awesome.
Everybody was like, oh my God, that is the match. And since then, this is your work now. So as far as gimmick wise, it kind of just came natural. I'm gonna just be myself.
Yeah.
I'm a father of 4. I'm a loving husband. But when it comes down into it, in the middle of that ring, I'm there to hurt people.
Yep.
These people are paying tickets just to be here regardless, right? I mean, they're coming seeing them. Why not give them a show? Why not introduce them to the asshole that is Jordan Dye? Why not introduce them into the technical genius that is Jordan Dye? And also, I mean, outside the ring, I'm kind of the same. I do have a little bit of cockiness, and I do have a little bit of an ego, and I wear it well in there, and they see it, and they hate it, and I love it. Hate me more.
Yeah.
What would Ice Cube say? The the one you love to hate.
Yeah,
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm the one you love to hate. People see me walking down the streets, they enter the arena like, oh my God, there's Jordan dying. I'm like, oh my God, yes, go home. I don't need you here anyways. Because you know why?
A-N-I-S. Anus. Bam. 800 points. That's game.
It's not how you spell anus.
I went to Ivy Tech for 2.5 years, bro. I can spell anus.
You know what? I know an expert in this field.
I think I know who you're talking about.
What are you guys doing? We gotta go play Harvest Fest. I'm in here getting all of our gear, and you guys are here playing Scrabble? Again?
You know what, Maddie? You can settle this for us.
Yeah. How do you spell anus?
I'm not gonna settle another Scrabble discrepancy for you guys. That's the third time this week.
Calm down, Maddie. Harvest Fest isn't until September 14th. Gates open at 4 p.m.
Yeah. At the Miami Open Air Auditorium. Google for directions.
Are you telling me that Harvest Fest X is not until September 14th? Featuring bands such as Fourth Among Midgets, Forgotten Ashes, Tight Like a Tiger, GPD, Resonate, and Patron? September 14th?
I'm hungry.
Shut up! There's gonna be food at Harvest Fest. The lunch break's coming down, and they're gonna make delicious burgers!
I'm not having fun anymore.
Fun? You wanna have fun? Well, I got a doozy for you, because the Kokomo Press is coming out, and they're gonna have stand-up comedians. We're talking Sean D., Pierce Clott, Michael Howard, Greg Lindberg, Alexa Eden, Davey Mumaw, Jordan Granger, Jacob Harder, Brian Allen West, and Dan Alton.
Say it, don't spray it.
Maddie! Bro.
Since you put it that way, bro. You know, you're right. You guys... I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have blown off the handle like that. Here's how you spell anus. A-N-U-S. Just think about it like I do. The way I remember it, it's an United States, right? So, anyways, I'll see you guys September 14th at Harvest Fest X at the Miami Open Air Auditorium. Google for directions.
Bring a tent.
I don't get it. In United States.
Go home. I don't need you here anyways. Because you know why? Because regardless, the show's going to go on, and I'm going to still be the star of it. And I think that in my mind every single time I hit that curtain.
Yeah.
And that just sets in my mind. So that's the gimmick. The gimmick is me. I'm just a raunchy, roughneck, egotistical technician that will out wrestle anybody in any locker room on any given day. And that's just me. And if you don't understand that, then... I mean, I really don't know what else to say. That's the best I could break it down, you know?
Yeah.
So, for sure. So, just picture Roddy Piper and William Regal had themselves a baby.
You know, I like that. I like that because, like, your character very much is giving, like, Roddy Piper, but also it reminds me of, like, early 2000s Chris Benoit, 2011 CM Punk. Like, I don't ever like to put a comp on a wrestler or anything like that because I feel like Jordan Dye is Jordan Dye, but like that's the vibes that I get when I see you. It's very much the technical centric asshole that's feeling himself, knows who he is, and it's you turned up times 100, which is the best version of yourself that you can be, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Like, there's like, you can, I mean, it's okay to add influences in, you know what I mean? I mean, I have plenty of influences. I mentioned William Regal and Roddy Piper. Obviously, I loved Rowdy's promos, whether he was a heel, which he was the 90% of his career, but any promo Rowdy was a part of, my eyes were glued to that television. And the in-ring work was great too, as that, but like I said earlier, I was more into the technicians, the Regals, the Bret Harts, the Chris Benoits, the Jerichos. Dean Malenko was always a good one.
I love Dean Malenko.
Yeah, he's great. And I also like the high flyers too. But like, man, like Fit Finley.
Yeah.
I love Fit Finley. There was always something with Fit Finley that just like, man, he really was that Belfast brawler. Like he really
Yes, he
just go in there
was.
and
Oh,
beat
yeah.
the hell out of you. And that's what I also like to perceive too. I'm going to stretch you a little bit,
Yep.
but I'm also going to knock you stupid as I'm doing it.
I
So
love it.
yeah.
I love it. So, man, when I came on the scene around like 2021 as a manager, I actually got a chance to manage Sam Knight, and he was in a match against you, and that was at AWR, and that was really the first time that we really got a chance to meet. I had known about you for a long time before that, man, and I was like, man, I finally get a chance to work with this guy because once again, I'd been following you for quite a while.
Right.
But let me ask you this, man. As somebody who's a technical wrestler, obviously, like you have many moves in your arsenal.
Right.
Is there any moves that are like special to you, like that you're like, oh, I really want to try to get this in tonight? It's something that you try to get in on a regular basis.
Yeah, I have a which I actually pulled it from Lance Storm, another great technician.
Fantastic.
A roll through half crab he would do,
Oh,
but
love
I
the
do
half
it just
crab.
I just do the Boston crab. I love the sharpshooter. I try to get that in whenever I can. Whenever I see the opportunity to go ahead and hook it,
Yeah,
I hook it. The crossface, obviously.
for sure.
That was actually one of my finisher maneuvers. That actually won me a couple titles, believe it or not.
Awesome.
Yeah. I've come up with a few submissions of my own. It's like I came up with one. It's a modified regal stretch. I don't have a name for it. I'll get back with you on that. It's basically a modified regal stretch. And then I have a modified, I don't know if a lot of your listeners are MMA enthusiasts
Some of them
and
do
stuff,
watch, yes.
but there's a move called the banana split.
Okay.
Actually, Matt Riddle kind of made it famous on the wrestling scene.
Yeah.
The little twister boy he does.
Yep.
But mine is a modified. I grapevine. I pull him into me. I latch the arm. I hook the arm behind my shoulders. I pin it down, and then I cross face him.
Yeah.
It stretches him every which way you could possibly think of. So that one. Listen, if I put that on anybody, they're not
It's
moving.
wraps.
It is
It's
a wrap.
wraps, yeah.
Yeah. So I also like to use what I like to call is a final cut or the eye of the hurricane.
Yeah.
I also like to use a move similar to that. I lift them a little high and then I throw the elbow and crash down on them. I got plenty of moves in my arsenal, but the one that will put them down is, I'd probably say, what did I call it? I called it something the other day, and the missus kind of laughed at me. We'll just call it the die clutch. It's the grapevine boy that I was explaining.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
you ain't moving from that bad boy. That one you were done.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Man, I'm really enjoying this. I hope you guys out there in the household are enjoying this conversation with Jordan Dye. I still got a couple more questions here. I want to ask you this. So once again, you've been around the scene for a while, and 10 years,
Yeah.
man, wow. And you seem really young too.
I'm older than all get out, brother.
Really,
Yeah.
you look young, man.
I appreciate that. It's that fountain of youth I drank from. I drank from the same water Ric Flair drank from.
I hear that. But here's my question, man. So like in your 10-year career, is there any moments that are like super special to you that you think about maybe every day, every other day, something that just like pops in your mind and just like gets that dopamine kicking, man? Any moments from your 10-year career?
Yeah. So Sage Phillips, are you familiar with Sage?
Absolutely.
Great technician.
He's great.
Love the dude to death. Me and him have had a great rivalry over the past couple of years. We've been killing it, mainly in the Summit Pro.
Summit Pro, yeah, over in the Greenfield area,
yes, but also just a lot of other places too. That really sets deep in my mind. I had at one point in time, I was the longest reigning United States champion for New Era Wrestling out of Shelbyville.
Yeah,
Ohio.
Shelbyville, yes.
I had some really good barn burners with that. With those defenses, one that really sticks to mind was Sage. Me and him had a great one too, but me and Braden Lee had a few good matches. They were great. They were tremendous. Winning the Flophouse title,
that was huge. I remember.
Yes, that was really that was a really big career. I actually pinned Hoodfoot to win that. So yeah, love Hoodfoot. Great worker. I had a good match with him. So there's really like I base everything. Not you should base them on moments. I get it, but there's a lot of stuff that I've done that I can say I am happy about. But I'm more happy about things that I've done in the middle of that ring. Man, there's a lot. There's so many defining moments. Me and Brandon Prophet
You guys had a really cool storyline where you had like a bounty on his head, I believe.
Yeah, I put the old $2,500 bounty on his head. Anybody wants to pick it up, hey, that's fine by me. You take this dude out, you get this $2,500. Not one person could take him out. I even beat his son up. I beat his stupid son to a blithering pulp, and he still, nobody would still, this dude still would not back down.
Oh my god!
So it was so good. We ended in a dog collar match, which is a great match.
I was here for that one.
Was you here for that one?
Was,
okay, yeah. Great match. You know, I've had so many matches over the past 2 to 3 years. Ever since I can't kick back up after the pandemic, that I've been like, I've just been going. I've had so many great matches. I can't say, oh, this match is bad. I've had great moments, great matches. I've had fun. I guess you say I've had fun for the past couple of years because I just like beating people up, and that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years. 10 years, actually, but
10
you know.
years, man. We love it.
Yeah.
We love it, man. So, man, I'm going to call this a really great interview. I really appreciate your time, man. But I want to give you an opportunity here. If there's anything down the line that you got coming up, any like key matches or any dates that you want the household, our fans to know about so they can follow what you're doing, Jordan.
Absolutely. So next month, August, I am all over the place. I am at Summit Pro on August 3rd. I think actually I might got that date mixed up. It might be August 4th. August 3rd or 4th. I apologize. Not really good with dates. Summit Pro, August 3rd or 4th. And then I am at New Era Wrestling, where I will compete in the Bob Oxley tournament. And the winner gets the All-American Championship, which is going to be me, obviously. So I'm looking forward to winning that one. Yes, thank you. This guy right here. And then I am at AVW the day after on August 18th. It is in Oakwood, Illinois. And I really don't know who my opponent's going to be. It really doesn't matter because they're not the best of 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 the best. Better than your best on their best. The hoodlum, the technical genius, Jordan Die.
Jordan, thank you for your time, man.
Not a problem.
Really appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Guys, you already know. Check out everything that Jordan Die is doing out there. Check him out and check us out in your house on all major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple. Hey, we appreciate your time. Get on, get gone. Household, still going mighty strong. Peace.
In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice. There is no choice. We is the voice. In your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.